This week we're going to be working on two quite different components to songs that will come up in the future, and we're working on parts of them. So the first one is based on this G shape. Students can have a difficult time with the baby finger on that very thin first string, third fret, and getting that finger high enough on the fret, so not back here, but closer to the fret here is the objective. And then putting the first finger here on the first fret of the second string. So the first chord starts off like that. And then what we're going to do is have the first finger and baby finger remain static while the second and third finger move down one string each to more of a C position, this being more like a G positioning, this being more like a C positioning, moving down one string each to the fifth string and fourth string respectively, and then moving down to the fourth string and third string respectively, looking sort of like an F shape. So that might be starting on the G, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 C, 2 and 3 to F, 1 and 2 and 3 back to C, 3 and to G, 2 and 3 to C, to F, 1, 2, 3, 4 and C, 2, 3 and G, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and F, 1 and 2 and 3 and C, 1 and 2 and 3 and G. You can turn off the video and work on that on your own. We also added a bass down up. Bass note. So for the G, that would be the sixth string. So 6, 6, down, up, fifth string for C, down, up, to the F, bass, bass, down, up, to the C, bass, bass, down, up, G, fourth string, fifth string, C, G. That's a good drill. So that'll help reinforce this positioning and get you a better sound off of that just by putting in the time. The second and very contrasting ideas to working on the components of a blues in E. So it starts off with the first finger laying down, covering all the strings, on the second fret to the fifth string, and that will be considered E. And we're actually not worried about getting these three strings. We're looking at getting the sixth, fifth, and fourth strings really pronouncing, and everything under that, this third string, second and first, not that important. So you could also do it so that you press on those strings, but then have your finger just kind of floating on the strings below it. But also your pick can just play those top three strings as well. And then for the E6, we're going to take the baby finger and pop it up onto the fourth fret of the fifth string. And those can go back and forth with two strums each. So E, E6, E, E6, E, E6, E, E6. And we'll want to move to the next chord. What we're going to do is move that whole system down one string each so that the first finger is now barring across the second fret from the fourth string down. And our pick is going to start with the fifth string like this. So that would be A. And then the baby finger is going to play on the fourth fret of the fourth string. So like that. A, A6, A, A6, back to E, up one string each, E, E6, the third chord and the most difficult chord to play is a complete hand shift to this B7, and that's going to be the second finger on the second fret of the fifth string, first finger on the first fret of the fourth string, third finger on the second fret of the third string, and fourth finger, baby finger on the second fret of the first string. And that's going to go E. So putting that into a 12-bar blues looks like this. 2, 3, 4. E. E again. E a third time. E a fourth. E. 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 A. Back to E. B7. A. Back to E. B7. And begin to build that out. We also took a look at that B7 and again, second finger on the second fret of the fifth string, first finger on the first fret of the fourth string, third finger on the second fret of the third string, and baby finger on the second fret of the first string, and looked at playing the fifth string as a bass note and then moving that second finger up to the second fret of the sixth string and playing that sixth string, bass, strum, fifth string, strum, sixth string, strum. So that's B7, B7 with an F sharp in the bass, B7, B7 with an F sharp in the bass, B7, B7 with an F sharp in the bass, and just that. That's the foundation of a bunch of Johnny Cash songs, as well as you can move it around and get all kinds of ragtime sounding songs. So, and begin to build a collection of those kinds of songs as well. So lots to do. I'll leave you with that and hope you have a good week.